Hello, this is Tentamon from Digimon. Make sure you subscribe to Dimsy's Domain.
Myotismon, probably the most iconic Digimon villain of all time. I refer to him as the Freezer of the Digimon series because of the amount of times he has returned. But should he return in the new Digimon 2020 series? Let's discuss the reasons on why he should return, why he shouldn't return, and how he can possibly return. Let's start with the reasons on why he should return. Myotismon easily had the best arc in the original Digimon series. He was the big bad villain that the series was building up to. He was basically the Thanos of the Digimon Adventure series. Because in the earlier parts, we saw Demi-Devimon talking to someone in the shadows and was also getting orders from that shadowy being. He was slowly being built up through the Demi-Devimon episodes, and he finally made his grand entrance the very episode where Sora activates her Crest of Love, which is ironic because I feel Myotismon is probably the most loved villain amongst the Digimon fanbase. I have already made videos of Myotismon previously, so guys check them out, but let me reiterate some of the points I made in those previous videos. Oh, and speaking on videos, we are going to have a few special guests coming onto the channel very soon. They have voiced some of the most iconic characters in the Digimon series. One of them may be a certain popular gogglehead, so guys, click the notification bell to check out those videos as soon as they are released. And believe me, they will be released soon, so click that bell. As a villain, Myotismon is a master tactician and isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. Unlike Devimon, where Devimon can get complacent and lazy, Myotismon is very proactive. The only thing stopping him during the day is literally the sun, because, you know, he's a vampire. So that's his natural weakness. He has ambition, as we saw when he returned in season 2. He waited out his whole plan for Oikawa to make a gate that transports him to the world of dreams, which shows he has immense patience. But of course, he was a ghost, so he couldn't really do much as he had no body. But still, even as a ghost, he's still pulling the strings. Myotismon didn't even need an army, he could just do it by himself, as we have seen him take on all of the partner Digimon in their ultimate forms, and he soloed all of them multiple times. He did this not just once or twice, he did it so many times. Myotismon doesn't just have only one plan. Look at Devimon and Etemon. Devimon's plan was to separate the kids, but when the Digidestined were separated, he thought he won. But guess what happened? All of the Digidestined reunited and he still did nothing about it. This is before the Digidestined all came back to Fire Island to take out Devimon. His sole plan was to separate them, but then when they were all starting to meet up with one another in the different islands, he didn't do anything about it. He didn't have another plan to react to the failure of his first plan on separating the Digidestined. And Etemon was dealing with his own problems other than the Digidestined, so he was all confused because Datamon was screwing him over as well. However, when Myotismon told Gatomon and Demi-Devimon and his other minions to search for the 8th child, and when all of them failed to find her, apart from Gatomon for obvious reasons, he starts hatching out a new plan, unleashing a deadly fog that brought Tokyo to a standstill and causing mass havoc for the people in that city. He did that because his minions couldn't find the 8th child, but when he found out that Gatomon knew who the 8th child was, he personally took Gatomon captive and was waiting in line with Gatomon for all the kids in Tokyo to see which one was the 8th child. So not only is he a capable fighter taking on all the Digidestined partner Digimon in their ultimate forms by himself, he's a proper war tactician. If plan A didn't work, you can bet your house on it that he has a plan B, C, D on hold, because he is a planner and very goal oriented. In a messed up way, he's actually quite inspiring because all the good guy traits of never giving up and persevering and always have a goal and a plan, Myotismon is all of that but just evil, which is what makes him so engaging as a villain, because even though he's a villain, we admire him in a weird way, just like how we admire Thanos or the Joker, even though they're messed up evil characters, but we can't help it, we just like them. They're so likable. Now for reasons why he shouldn't return. As a villain, absolutely he should return because he's basically the near perfect villain in the Digimon series. But for me personally, and I'm sure there's a few of you out there who would agree with me as well, we have seen Myotismon too many times. In the first season, as soon as he died, he returned as Venom Myotismon, and in the second season, he was the brains behind Oikawa's plan as Malo Myotismon. And even in the other scenes, we have seen him return as well, so there is a danger of having Myotismon fatigue. We have seen him carrying out his plan in the first 2 seasons, so if he does return, is he going to have the same plan and goal? Because if he does that, then what's the point? I would much rather see something new with different villains with a fresh new take on the story, rather than seeing the same thing again and again. Hell, bring Myotismon back, but if he has a different agenda or is part of the new Dark Masters, that would be interesting to see. Now let's talk about how he will return. I'm sure at some point Digimon would be entering the real world in the new 2020 series. Myotismon is a vampire and feeds on human blood. Why not have Myotismon already living in a castle in the real world? And at night, just like how in the original series, he goes out to drink people's blood. We wouldn't need to see him do it, just have it as background noise. Have little Easter eggs throughout the episodes. For example, whilst Taya and his team are fighting Algamon or whoever the main arc villain is at the time, have the news break out in the TV and on the internet that there is a health crisis going on with the victims showing vampire teeth on their necks on the news. Have it there in the background along with the main story going on at the same time, as it builds up for when Myotismon truly makes his grand return. And unlike last time, have all the victims that he bites fall under his control, because we know he can control human beings just like the way he controlled Oikawa. Every victim of his disappears, which causes mass panic amongst the people of Tokyo and the Digidestined. But then suddenly, all the victims just show up out of nowhere and start causing riots because they have an evil satanic vampire controlling them. That could be one way of bringing him back, but I don't know, what do you guys think? Would you guys want him back in the 2020 series, or have you guys had enough of him? Comment down below on what you guys think, and as always, care for nothing.